Just how worried should you be about accidental fentanyl exposure? And what about police officers and first responders? So the correct answer is you shouldn't be worried at all. But don't trust me, I'm just some random TikToker who happens to be a drug scientist, so trust the science instead. So 80% of first responders in New York believe that just touching fentanyl can actually kill you. And this is a relatively common belief among all people as well. So there's this idea that even something as small as a grain of rice can lead you to die. Like if you inhale it, if you touch it, you're dead. That is not the case at all. So the Academies for Medical Toxicology and Clinical Toxicology issued a joint statement because they're like, this is just genuinely ridiculous, guys. Can we stop believing this misinformation? And side note, I will tell you where this misinformation came from. Surprise to no one, it came from the DEA. So the joint report put out by the toxicologist actually gave some really good data. It was basically here's what you would actually need to just feel a clinical dose of fentanyl. So something that would produce pain relief, but not actually potentially kill you. And they said you need 14 minutes of having just, patches across all of your palms. So both palms covered in patches. You need 14 minutes of that to get a clinical dose. So one that is providing pain relief, one that will not kill you. Let's make that very clear. Or you would need approximately 200 minutes of inhaling fentanyl at the highest possible airborne concentration to, again, get that clinical dose. Neither of those are the dose that is likely to kill you. So this idea that you could just touch a grain of rice of fentanyl and it will kill you, that police officers should be very worried. Yeah, no, that is not a thing. Now, should they be worried? Yes. In general, everyone should use appropriate PPE. So put on your gloves. Don't randomly taste chemicals. Don't eat food right after you are touching somebody. In general, those are the things that you should be doing. But should people be worried about going out and helping somebody who is overdosing from a drug because they're worried about if it might kill them? No. It is incredibly, incredibly unlikely to actually overdose from fentanyl from somebody who is overdosing on it. Reports are basically even if you have accidental exposure, you're fine. It takes a while to actually start to feel the effects. It's not this instantaneous thing. So there's these videos going around of somebody basically touching fentanyl and then falling down immediately and dying. Those are not real. 200 minutes of inhaling, 14 minutes of patches covering you. Only those things will produce pain relief, again, not death. Even if you're accidentally exposed, it's going to take minutes for you to feel the effects, and then we have an antidote for it, Narcan, which is the thing that you're giving to the person who's overdosing in the first place. And the symptoms are pretty common. So rapid heart rate, somebody's sedated, they're nauseated, pinpoint pupils, all of those are the first symptoms that somebody is overdosing from an opiate. And so then you can give Narcan to counteract that. As a drug scientist who does this drug education TikTok, you'll notice that I rarely say don't be worried about something. Because if you say don't be worried about something, that seems to give kind of free range to people to do whatever they want to do. And here, I am not saying don't be worried. Yes, wear your proper PPE. Make sure that you're not dousing yourself in a bathtub of fentanyl, but you typically will be okay. And the reason that I'm specifically making this video is because by saying that EMTs and first responders need to worry about things like fentanyl, that means that people are potentially not getting the help they need to not die. Now, some scientists thought they were going to be funny by putting the title as "Can Touch This" instead of MC Hammer's "Can't Touch This," basically saying that it is okay to touch fentanyl. I won't go that far, but in general, yes, it is not actually as bad as people think it is. And the reason that I am talking about this specifically is because if we don't give people appropriate information, this can actually lead to deaths. So there are a lot of people who are potentially not getting the time-sensitive, life-saving administration of Narcan that they need because people are worried about going near them because they might have fentanyl on them. It doesn't even need to be conscious. The fact that you are slightly worried about it means that you might hesitate when somebody needs a Narcan administration. And there's other types of misinformation, oh yeah, somebody who is overdosing is going to be incredibly violent. So when they wake up, they're going to be very aggressive. And so you shouldn't wake somebody up. No, that is not necessarily true either. So reports have found that yes, there are a group of people who are confused when they wake up. So we're talking about over 10% of people when they wake up from Narcan are what's happening? Because they just woke up from an overdose. But we saw that levels of aggression, not violence, but aggression, was only found in about 8% of people in overdoses. And giving something like Narcan is not going to hurt them if they're not on an opioid. So it works to counteract opioids, but if you're on something else and you're overdosing, it's not going to necessarily cause a big issue. So just in general, Narcan is out there saving lives, and we should be promoting that. So how did this start? Well, kind of the DEA. So And yes, this is fully misinformation. So there was a scientist who looked at the reports and found over 1,000 reports of people who supposedly were overdosing on fentanyl by being a first responder. So helping somebody who was in an active overdose. And what they found was that not a single one of them was substantiated. Let me repeat that. Not a single one of those reports actually had somebody who ended up testing positive for opioids, who had the symptoms of opioids, and who had an actual exposure to it. So a lot of organizations have actually stepped back their worries about this. So the Royal Canadian Mounted Police were like, yeah, that's actually not as big of a deal as we thought. We're sorry, we retract. But the DEA still has it up there to this day, still has the information saying that a single grain of rice of fentanyl will kill police officers. So please, instead of spreading misinformation, can we spread the actual information here? Narcan works to save people who are overdosing on opioids. People can overdose on opioids from either prescription painkillers, or they could be overdosing from a variety of different things. Maybe they got the wrong drug. Maybe they are just addicted to opioids, and we should still help those people too. We can literally save lives by giving Narcan. And the fact that we are spreading misinformation saying that you are potentially going to die by going up and trying to help somebody, or they're going to be violent and so you need to be worried for your life, that is terrible. That is irresponsible and frankly just not okay. So let's pass along this actual information, the actual scientific evidence stating that this is not a thing, so that maybe we can actually save more lives.